Hey guys, it's James here again. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all well and having a great week so far. There we are, back on the 2 uploads a week again, eh? We're back on track. Anyway, as promised today, we're going to be talking about the book The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. A really great book that I listened to on my most recent holiday that I've just got back from. I got it done literally within a day. I whizzed through it on the audio book as I was walking through Lisbon. Got some really great takeaways from it and I hope to provide them to you in this video today. So let's go. Okay, so in the book, Stephen is essentially talking about inner creative battles that we have with ourselves, with the likes of self-doubt and fear, and how these affect our productivity, and essentially talks about how we can win these battles. He essentially talks about the two lives that we live, the life that we actually live, and then the life that we live that's unlived within, and essentially talks about the middle ground between these two, which is called resistance, and how we can combat that within the book. So firstly, let's get into talking about what is resistance. So essentially, resistance is the force that keeps us from doing the things that we really should be doing. So whether it's starting that new business, going out, going to the gym, you know, all things that are going to be good for you and habitual changes, as we continually talk about on the channel. Resistance is that force that's going to stop you from doing it. And essentially, it keeps us from realising our dreams and accomplishing things that we want to do. As he talks about in part 1 of the book, resistance, it can't be helped. It happens to all of us. As Stephen says, it's a universal thing and it's impersonal. It doesn't matter who we are, it's going to affect us, and it manifests itself in the likes of procrastination itself, self-doubt, fear of failure, all the things that will prolong us from doing our thing. That's what resistance forces. So anything in our routine that we want to do that naturally takes us away from what we'll habitually do, resistance will oppose that change and stop us from doing it as much as we can. For example, as I said, if we're starting up a business, you may have the call to do it, but then you're going to have all these things going in your head, such as, oh, I'm really worried about it failing. What are people going to think of me? Do I know how to do this? How should I be doing this? All these different forms of resistance coming into your head. And it's a really hard thing to combat, and you got to always think, oh, I can just start this tomorrow, or I'll start next week, or I'm going to put this off to next year. You know, all these different forms of resistance that you're creating in your head. And essentially what we want to do is we want to use resistance to our advantage. Let's talk about how we can use resistance to our advantage. So what is important to remember is that fear, self-doubt, these are all things that we're going to experience, right? These emotions mean that we really do care about the thing that we're wanting to do and accomplish. So we're definitely heading in the right direction towards achieving your dreams and things that you want to do. You know, if you wasn't worried and all that about your dream, clearly you're not passionate about it. Really, it shouldn't be something that you're pursuing. You know, you look at Hollywood actors, a lot of these, you know, they have fear of doing things or worry about what people think, and they're going to worry, oh, am I going to do a good performance? But it's generally a good indicator they're heading in the right direction to doing something. So they'll actually, as spoken in the book, they will tend to pursue films and all these things, what they're scared of doing, but they know it's going to push them on their way to success. And we should do the same. Whenever we see something that we're worried about doing or fear doing, you know, we want to use that resistance to our advantage and think, right, I'm on the right path, let's go head on at this, let's do it. You know, what's the worst that can happen? Yes, we fail, but we learn from failure, and that's the most important thing. I actually read a book by Peter Jones, The Dragon. He's my favourite dragon for Dragon's Den, and he talks about in the book how he doesn't believe in the word failure. He instead believes in feedback, and that is essentially what failure is. If you fail at something, it's a lesson, and you can learn from it, and it's going to push you forward towards your success in the future. Trust me on that. So the next thing in the book that Stephen talks about is that how, for combating resistance, is how we should treat our dreams as a professional rather than a hobby. And it's something that a lot of people talk about. Gary Vee's a great example. You know, if you put in hobby time, you're going to get hobby results. If you put in real business and professional time into something and put the hours in, you're going to achieve the dream that you want. And that's a real thing, you know. Even if you've got a full-time job, there's still the time that, you know, between the hours of 6 and 10 p.m. that you can pursue that dream. For example, with me, when I finish work every day, everyone's gone home, I've got a bit of quiet time in the office, you know, it's 6 o'clock now, I'm here, I'm filming the video because it's something that I want to do. And I'm putting in them hours, you know, to slowly learn about the business of YouTube, understand what other people are posting, being aware, and you know, hopefully going to grow this channel into something nice one day where I can have a nice little community of people to help out, hopefully. So that's one of the important things, is to treat your dream as a professional, and you can utilise your skills from your day job as well. You know, even if your day job isn't related to your dream that you're wanting to do, there's still skills that you can transfer in. For example, you know, do you turn up to work on time? Are you disciplined when you're at work? How do you organise yourself? You know, organise your priorities for getting things done to you know, reach your quarterly goals. You know, all these things can be put into realising your dream. If you treat your dream like a professional job, you're going to get the professional results and not hobby results. You know, if you're just putting the odd hours in here and there. So another thing that Steven talks about on the subject of you know, treating your dream as a professional is that you really need to know your craft, and you want to know it as best as possible, because that can help along with, you know, the fear of self-doubt and, you know, the fears of failure. It's all normal, but the one way we can combat it is by knowing ourselves and knowing our craft itself, and that comes through just continuous learning and continuous betterment. You know, we want to understand what our limitations are, and through doing that we can know where to focus on and where we can build on ourselves and in our craft itself. A good professional will always know when to ask questions and how to ask questions, and a good way of doing that is just to surround yourself with other professionals and people who are, you know, on the path to achieving their dreams, perhaps in the same field or in other fields as well. You can always learn off of everyone. You know, I was on the phone to my dad last night, and he said, "James, look, I'm sick. I'm sorry to out your age, Dad." My dad's 60 next year. He said, "I'm 60 next year, James. You know, I've done what I've done in business so far, but I'm still learning every single day. You know, I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. I don't confess to know everything, but I'm still learning every day, because that's making me a better businessman, and that's something that you need to do, James, and that's something that my dad's always drilled into me." And, you know, I think it's certainly gone in, because that's where my thirst for knowledge and, you know, my thirst to continue learning from everyone and anyone in whatever way that I can. And that's a way we can certainly battle resistances, by learning continuously and knowing our limitations and how we can improve on ourselves. And that's a great lesson from Steven Pressfield, not just for achieving your dreams, but for life itself. Okay, so the next lesson that I've got from the book, from The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, is the fact that we need to be organised, patient, and we want to boldly face adversity head on. You know, that's a real key thing when we're on our journey to achieving our dreams, that, you know, one way we can combat resistance over time is to remain persistent and organised. Rather than wanting to focus on the end result of things, let's focus on the process itself. Let's be patient, let's be persistent, let's keep going, be organised, and enjoy the process. If we can focus on the actual process itself and the journey, and enjoy the journey along the way, as Ali Abdal always says, you know, enjoy the journey. I really love that quote. He always says about, from one of the fiction books what he's read. I couldn't agree with it more. If you enjoy the journey more, the resistance to actually doing the work every day isn't going to be as bad. You know, it's like I spoke about in the Atomic Habits video. We don't want to always be about goals. We want to be about the processes themselves, because the processes are going to be what gets us there to the goal that we want to achieve at the end of the day. And when we get more on it with the processes themselves, it helps us to come to terms with the fact that we're going to face adversity on the way to the dream goal that we want to achieve. It's a natural thing in life. No matter what we do, no matter how good we think we are always going to face some form of adversity on the way to where we want to be. You know, whether you're a sportsman, you know, you might get injured along the way, or if you are wanting to start up something in the online e-commerce space, you know, you could have 1 or 2 failed stores, but then you could have a 3rd successful one. You know, I've had numerous websites, you know, I've had ideas, oh yeah, that would be a good idea, but a lot of them didn't work. And it's a process of trial and error. At the end of the day, adversity, you know, it's going to come and go. But if we ride the waves, we learn the lessons from those waves, and, you know, the adversity we have, it makes us stronger as a person. And I can certainly say that adversity I've been through, both in my personal life and in my business life, has made me a lot stronger of a person mentally, in my head, and I feel I can take on, you know, a fair lot of things I feel I could ride the waves with, but I always want to learn from any adversity that I get. And if we can come to terms with that fact and we face it head on, it will really benefit us when we're battling resistance in the future. Okay, so that was The War of Art by Steven Pressfield, another amazing book that I've read on my holiday. I was so glad I did. I saw about it first on Ali's YouTube channel a few years ago. He said he read it back in 2017. And I read it on Derek Sivers' blog as well. I think it was where I read a summary of it as well. And it was a it was a really, really great book, and I'm so glad that I come across it, read it finally, and yeah, I certainly believe I'm putting it into action in my life. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, guys, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for 40 subscribers, what I've got so far. I hit 40 today. I really, really appreciate every single one of you who's following me along my journey. If you want to get hold of the book, I've got a link down below. And also, my latest announcement, I'm actually starting up my own email newsletter. So once a week, I'm going to be releasing, my daily thoughts, my weekly thoughts, weekly tips, ideas, things that I think of that might benefit you guys week to week. So if you think you might be interested in that, hit the link down below, and I look forward to talking to you each week. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.